back again today. I hope you all had a wonderful day. I had a pretty good day myself. Tonight, I just wanted to talk to you all about mental health and mental illness. Mental illness is social, emotional, and psychological well-being, while on the other hand, mental illness is a chemical imbalance in the brain. Sometimes we often mix up the two and, think that mental health is mental illness when mental health is basically overall your well-being, and mental illness more so is a wide range of disorders. I'm going to give us a brief rundown of the basic disorders because there are so many disorders out there. We all are familiar with depression, anxiety, bipolar, schizophrenia, psychosis, OCD, MPD, which is multiple personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, autism, dementia, eating disorders, sleeping disorders, things of that sort. With schizophrenia, that is more so one of the aggressive disorders. We have people that are very paranoid. They see things, they hear things, they have manic episodes. We all are familiar pretty much with anxiety. I know a lot of people suffer with anxiety as well as depression. As we all know, I'm bipolar, so I'm gonna basically give a few examples of what it is to be bipolar, what it's like. So bipolar was called, some people still call, like me, I still call it manic depression. It's manic highs and depressive lows. So when you're manic, you are pretty much, you have high energy, you feel like Superwoman. Well, of course, I feel like Superwoman or, Superman. You rarely sleep. You just have this burst of energy. You just feel like you're invincible, like you could just do anything in the world. You're really over the top. With depression, you're more so sad, crying. You don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to take care of yourself. You have no energy, no motivation. It's just like this. And then, manic, you just like, it's basically opposites. There is no known cause. It can be genetically passed down, or you can get it from just the environment or just chemistry. But there is no cure. It can be treated with medicine, as well as other methods, but there's no cure. Medication can help, but a lot of people don't like taking medication. For me, medication is good because it helps me maintain my daily life and just to be grounded. I also would say psychiatrists. Some people don't like psychiatrists because they think, oh, you have a psychiatrist, you're crazy. But in terms of medication, psychiatrists can be really good because they can help you find balance and see what works for you. So I really think that it's good to have a therapist. If you don't prefer a psychiatrist, therapist is good. We all need that someone to talk to, someone to explain what we're going through, and that to get that positive feedback. A friend, of course, is always good. Family member is always good, but that professional feedback is always a good thing. You have people out there who look at mental illness as irrelevant, like it's not a such thing. You have people who will tell you that, oh, that's in your mind. It is in my mind. It's a chemical imbalance in my brain, but no, it's not something that I just think that's going on. Like, this is real life. Like, I really go through this. And how can you tell someone that if you're not going through it? I mean, I understand it's hard to understand and imagine it if you're not going through it, but it's really ignorant to put down something that someone else is going through that you are of course stupid to. So I would like to say that stigma is the big thing that us mental health advocates, we try to fight it, because stigma, as you know, is basically someone having a negative, view of something or disapproving. Is like a form of discrimination. And you have two types of stigma. You have social stigma, where it's the prejudice attitude that's concerning something, and you have a self-perceived stigma. That's basically when you show stigma towards yourself based on what the public stigma is. So basically you're inclined to what other people think and feel towards what you got going on. I want to show you all my buttons. I have buttons that I wear and that I give out, and when I have my events and my meetings, I hand these out. I wear them all the time. This says "Stop the Stigma, Mental Health Awareness." It's a keychain, very cute. I like it. This is mental health awareness, support, not stigma. And y'all, green is mental health color, so I love green. Not every disability is visible mental health awareness. This is my favorite because it's so true. You can't see it. You can't see that I'm bipolar, and if I didn't tell you, you would never know. People will say, "Oh, you look fine to me." Exactly, because it's not like it's written on my head that I'm bipolar. So just because it's not there, you don't see it, doesn't mean somebody isn't going through it. This one says "Talk about it. Stop the stigma on mental health." Stop the stigma. No science, no stigma, mental health awareness. So I have 4 different kinds that I can choose from, as well as the keychain. I wanted to share with you all ways that I cope. I'm sure other people, use these ways to cope as well, but these are my personal ways that I cope. First and foremost, I would like to say acceptance. Acceptance is a big key to coping, because first you have to accept who you are, and you have to accept your mental illness. Of course, you aren't your mental illness doesn't have you. You have the mental illness. So you have to grasp it and just take control. Not only does acceptance fall under mental illness, but in life, you have to accept who you are, because you won't get far if you don't accept who you are as a person. You can't change certain things about yourself. So it's accept who you are, accept what you can't change, and change what you can. That is life all the way around the border. So it goes hand in hand with mental illness. You just have to accept that this is something that I go through. Take it and make something out of it. It's not all bad. It's not always bad. So, why not use what you have to, just better yourself and give yourself growth? Because that's what I did. I didn't think years ago that this is where I'll be now. I'll be making mental health videos. I'll be a mental health advocate, and that mental health will be my passion. It was the worst thing ever. But me going through many experiences, I had to realize that all these experiences set you up to be who you are today. So I'm thankful for my mental illness. I love who I am, completely love who I am. People might call me crazy, but I love who I am. And I wouldn't change who I am or what I go through for nothing in this world. So, of course, acceptance is the big key. Seeking help. When you're going through a mental illness, whether you're going through a mental illness or not, when you're going through something, it's always good to seek help, whether it's professional, family, anybody. If you feel like you're going through something and you don't know what to do, you can't help yourself, seek help. It's so many resources out here for you to seek help, whether it's hotlines, it's psychiatrists, therapists, strangers, family, friends. All these people on this world is someone you can talk to before you decide you want to do something to yourself, harm someone, or harm yourself. You can always reach out. Not gonna say things gonna get better as soon as you reach out, but reaching out can sometimes change your mind, or make you feel better, at least for a little while. So another one is medication. Like I said, I'm not too fond on speaking on medication too much because I know a lot of people don't agree with medication. Me personally, medication is my best friend. A lot of people see me off of medication, and that's the Ashley that they didn't know, and I'm sure it's the Ashley they don't want to see again. So medication, it helps people. Sometimes you have to see what works for you and what doesn't. Some medications will, some won't. Some you have to use with another medication for you to get the results that you need. But I do say that medication works for me. What works for me may not work for you. So, that's okay. But that is one of the options to, dealing with mental illness. Meditation. Meditation is a good one, especially for those who don't choose to use medicine. We all have our own forms of meditation and how we want to do it. So meditation, you can always look at that as a coping mechanism. Support system. That is a big one. Support system. Whether you have family, friends, teachers, colleagues, anybody, no matter what it is, who it is, support system is always important. Imagine someone not having a support system. We have homeless people, people out on the streets who have no one. The only one they can count as support is when they go into a hospital and they have people caring for them, or, just certain strangers that may care for them or, like them and, support what they're going through. Just imagine not having a parent, a family member, or a friend that you can confide in. Support system is vital to having mental illness because in those dark times, you need someone. When you can't take care of yourself and you can't look after yourself, you're going to need somebody to be there and be that eye for you and make sure that that you're good. So you gotta have a support system. I know sometimes we feel like, oh, my mom and dad or so-and-so doesn't accept me, or they don't agree with me, or they don't understand me. It's not for anyone to understand you, because me personally, my family don't understand me. And that's not just my mom and dad, it's a lot of people. Even, I've been in relationships where it's been guys who didn't understand me, and my characteristics, they put me down because of certain things that I did, but they didn't understand me. I can't take that out on them. It's, that's their loss. But you just have to find that support system. Finding something that you love to do. Okay, so when I'm going to my depression episodes, I only been in one manic episode, so I can't really speak too much on manic because I don't, know from experience, what I would do. But as far as depression, when I'm depressed, I find certain things to do that helps me feel better, because that's what it's about. When you're depressed, you're feeling bad, you're down, so you have to get out of the bed, you have to get in the shower, you have to eat, you have to do certain things that's gonna make you come out of this, bubble, out of this depression, out of this dark spot. So for me, I love the beach. So you can drop me off at the beach if I'm depressed, and I'm gonna be the happiest depressed person in the world. I love the river, the parks, stuff like that. I love to be out and just experience nature. I love writing, reading, creating stuff, crafts, stuff like that to keep my mind off of the racing thoughts that I'm having. And for that moment, it makes me feel better just to know that I got out of the bed, I got up and I brushed my teeth, and I did the basic, essential, the small things I did. That's a big step when you're depressed. When I say just stepping out of that bed, that's a huge step, because it's been days I stayed in my bed all day. I didn't want to get in the shower. I was crying. It's the small things that count. So whether you like riding your bike, skateboarding, listening to music, anything you like doing, do it. If you don't have the motivation to do it, you better put that motivation in your head. Talk to yourself until you get up and, you do something about it. You can't just give up. don't give up, because I wouldn't be where I am today if I gave up, because I wanted to give up plenty of times, but it's not an option. It's not for me anyway. So advocating, that's a big thing, especially with people who are successful with mental illnesses. They advocate. Once they figure out how to get through what they're going through, they find help and they're on the right path, they advocate and they try to help people like themselves to get where they at. And I'm one of those people. I advocate. Mental health is my life. It's my passion. And I believe in people. I believe in people with mental illness. So I believe that if I can do it, anybody else can do it. And I want to help people do it. I want to be a voice for the voiceless. I am a voice for the voiceless. So, you know, I'm going to push mental health awareness. I'm going to push everything that I stand for. I'm going to push, you know, this person and that person to get out and to be something. Don't let this mental illness stop you. Because like I said, if it wasn't for my mental illness, I wouldn't be where I am today. I've gotten so much growth from mental illness. Mental illness opened my eyes to a lot of things. To those people who I thought was my friends and they turned their back on me, it showed you so many things. It showed you a different side of the world. Like, it's amazing. So like I said, it's not all bad. You know, it is bad times, but you get through them. It's always light at the end of the tunnel. And I do believe that, because I have a testimony. So yeah, advocating is big. Not only do I have a nonprofit, I also I'm a facilitator for NAMI, the nation's largest mental health organization. So anything that I can do as far as mental health, I do it. I want to put it out there. That's my goal, because I know people suffer, and I'm fortunate to be as strong as I am and to have gotten through the things that I went through. I went through a lot by myself, because I felt like I didn't have support, or, you know, whatever the case may be. And I know it's people out there who's not as strong, who don't have the hope that I had to get through certain things. So, you know, I just want to help people as much as I can, because suicide is not the answer. It's not. And I say knowing your triggers is another way of coping, because if you know your triggers, you can sometimes stop episodes. For me, I know my triggers are things like seasonal changes. When the seasons change, I get depressed. So I have seasonal depression, you know, arguments, bad arguments, death in the family. If somebody who means a lot to me die, I'll most likely go into an episode. Stress, like